Hello and welcome. If you are watching this on the replay, thank you. State of Disorder is the first one here. I wish I had a cash prize for you, but I don't. I don't have one. I'm sorry. How are you doing tonight? I hope good. I'm trying to get all my scribblings out. I am an insane. I mean, I've realized I am really weird. I am weird. If you're watching this on a replay or you stumbled across it, thank you. If you enjoy it, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And with that, I've got my beverage. I'm watching this crazy Michelle woman. The Michelle, what the hell her name? Michelle goes, what the hell her name? Michelle Goes Live. She is a fucking nut. Hey, Aaron. This Michelle is a nut. And I didn't really know anything about her till last night on Savages. And she is right now like,
this is my channel.
She's crazy.
That I didn't do anything wrong.
She's going to go after somebody. I don't know who. But here's the thing. I always say this. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Clancy, how are you, my love? I hope you're okay. If you live by the sword, you will die by the sword. My love of crafts, hello. Which I mean by that is, and Molly is, then people are, if you make your channel about doxing people, hey, Tally, I love you. If you make your channel about doxing people and whatever, it will be done to you. This woman right here, we always say somebody's going to get hurt. And it might be this woman right here that gets it done. Thank you, my love of crafts. Hey, Tammy. It's coming along. Okay. I love you. I got some more things to pull up. Oh, I don't know if y'all saw my new project mirror that I bought. Was it Friday? Yeah, yesterday. Can't wait for that. I'm not going to put that up in here, though, because I've already got that one. I already did one. I think I'm going to... Well, hush up then. I think I'm going to order a new color. Hey, Lucy's World. Hey, Never Lose Hope. Yeah, Michelle's nuts. She going to get somebody hurt, but she's probably one who's going to get hurt. I'm just... Oh, you did? Never Lose Hope. Hello, Babe Beauty. When I started doing this case, researching it, and I thought, well, there's just, if they just go, it's just absolutely, there's nothing. They're gone, and nobody knows anything about it, and it ends there. But it doesn't end there. Some of the suspects, we'll talk about it. Oh, my cheap curtains. Thank you. I'm rolled over one right now. I mean, $18 for 2 panels. I can see you state of disorder. $18 for a pack of 2 panels. You can't beat that with a stick. Not down here. So, thank you, though. Yeah, see, Tammy, I was going to go in there last night and say something, but you had to be a member or a subscribe for like 20 minutes. Hey, Carrie, my sweet. And I've never watched her. And I'm watching her right now for the first time. This bitch crazy. She's talking about going after somebody, and people are saying that woman's got a new baby, and she's like, I don't care. My grandmother's about to die. Well, what does that have to do with anything? They vanished. And never... That's going to be a problem throughout the night. I know a lot of people are over there watching her. I know the Glaire's live, and I know Amanda. But this is just going to be, I don't want to say fun, because it's not fun to talk about these things. And then the next one I'm going to have, hey, rock this girl. The next one I'm going to do, which I think I'm going to try to do it on the 22nd of October, are the Springfield, no, that's a lie. The Fort Worth Trio. Now that one I'm in the middle of. And what happens when I do this is I get hyper focused, right? And I just take, hey, Kathy Rebuilds. I literally take it as far as I can because I give it to people who do this for a living. It is hard to think about these people. Hey, Uber, you're coming up. It is hard to think about these people, these women, and in the Fort Worth trio, they're girls. They are 17, 14, and 9. Hey Val, my love. So, and it's the same thing. They just disappeared from a mall. From a mall on the 23rd of December in 1974. I'll show y'all what I do on the top of every single page I do in research. And there's a lot. Can y'all see it? Is it back 30 years? Every single page, I put 30 years because that's how long they've been missing. 30 years. 30 years. So when I started the trio, which I'm in the middle of now, they've been missing for 48 years. Not a sign, not a bone, not a nothing. But there's some very interesting suspects. So that one I hope will be the 22nd. Okay, baby. Okay, baby beauty. So I've studied them and they have the Facebook. All these cases do. That's a great place to start. Hey, Monchichi. Also, always the Charlie Project. That's a great place to start just to get the, we can talk about these people like they were human beings. They had lives. They had plans. They had, they're not just, maybe that's what gets me. Maybe that's what gets me because I'll think about, what if your 9-year-old went shopping with 2 girls and just never came home? And the police said they're runaways. They're absolutely runaways because of a note that was sent. I'm going to go a little bit and for that, just in 1 second. I don't want to I'll go off on that. We'll just do 5 cases tonight. Hey, Miss Christie. A note showed up the next day in the Fort Worth trio. And so the police just said, okay, for years, so they're just runaways. But a 9-year-old doesn't run away 2 days before Christmas. A 14-year-old doesn't run away the 2 days before Christmas. So the fact that there was actually a year lost on those, hey, Monroe, on those over there. Oh, shit, Uber, I'm sorry. I'm running my damn mouth. Uber's here.
What? What?
I was running my mouth.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine being the parents of these children?
No.
And not having any help?
Right. And it took the families hiring a private detective who himself was a train wreck to get the police. It's like, this is the last thing I'm going to say about him because in 2000, this happened in 1974.
1974, okay? December 23rd.
Fort Worth trio in 1974. In 2001, it got handed off to another detective to be re-investigated. And from the reinvestigation, they came up with less than 5 possible suspects. Hey, Kathy, clock the house. So you're gonna do something in 2000? Hell, you go. Come back here. 40. Yeah, that's what I do though. Never lose hope. I put it on the top of everyone so I can remember. 48 years. I mean, I wasn't even born yet. Oh, I was born. I was. Hey, Susan, you were told to rest. Susan, yay, is not feeling well. Yeah, 1974. Here's the thing, though. Even with this Springfield 3, there was no digital footprints back then. No digital footprints. You couldn't go look at the cell phone. You couldn't look at, there's nothing you could do. And this is back when detectives were actually detectives, and they had to go out and I don't know how they did it, honest to God. And even with the Springfield 3, and that's 30 years ago, they didn't even have digital or like they had a guy looking with a, little whatever at actual fingerprints. It wasn't loaded up on anything. And I give props to all the early detectives out there because I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, they didn't have anything to work with close to what we got going on now.
Oh, no, yeah, exactly. So, I'm gonna give it like 4 more minutes, and then I'm just gonna start because I've been chomping at the bit with this one. I have been. I know, Uber's done work on it, and a lot of y'all did some work on it, and it's really. There were so many mistakes made, but they didn't know they were making them. They didn't know they were making the mistakes. But I'm going to introduce you to the women. I'm also on my one of my community posts. I listed everything that I used to research this. When this is over, I'm going to put all that in my description, every single thing, and I'm going to bring one up even now. This one site is really good, and he had the entire timeline up until everything stops with those women. Everything stops at 2:15 in the morning, around 2:15 in the morning.
Yeah,
it just stops. There is no more, and can you imagine? But there's also
they haven't even found two of the. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of your story. I'll let you tell it, but this just breaks my heart. Breaks my heart.
It was Tabitha Tutors. Oh, I'll write her down. Let me write Tabitha Tutors down. That phone's going to be a problem, but I don't know how to stop it. My daughter is at this is the second to the last night of her play.
Oh, good. How did she do?
She's exhausted. Listen, she's a leader for one of the techs, like when they were building the sets and stuff. She was one of the leaders. She had I don't know how many kids under her. So they literally went from building the set to, like I said, they built it, and then they had to unbuild it to put it in a courtyard because this is all done outside.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And so, it's all black and white because I will give the art, the acting guy, when you are looking at it, your brain goes to black and white because their kids are black and white, even their hands, anything you can see.
That's so cool.
Their hair, different varying colors. And so she has to be there at 5. They don't go on till 8. And so they're not done till 10. She's been doing this 2 weeks. Well, longer than that. The set took forever because they had to build it, unbuild it, take it to the courtyard, rebuild it, paint it. And then Ian, when that little bastard snaked through here, just a little wisp of him, hey, twin thing, knocked it down, knocked the whole fucking set down. So it's been crazy. I'm just going to turn my phone off because I have that I love it, but it's an irritating notification. All right, let's get started. So the Springfield 3. Springfield 3 are, to give them names, okay? Cheryl Levitt, 47. Her daughter, Suzanne Streeter, 19. And Stacy McCall, age 18.
3 S's.
That day, it was June 6th. The girls graduated from Kickapoo High School. They all went back to their prospective houses. I think that the McCalls did ask Cheryl and Suzanne to come to dinner with them, but they decided they were just going to grab a pizza and go home. So Stacy Picard and her family went out to dinner. They went home. Y'all know the deal. You take the photographs outside, in your pretty dress and in your cap and gown. And the graduation was from 4 to 6. All right, so we know where everybody is between 4 and 6 throughout the graduation. So the girls go home to their prospective homes. They're going to the girls are going to go to several parties that night. And then they're all going to drive to about an hour away to, hey, Lavender, to Wetwater in Branson, Missouri, a place that I've been, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have been there. So that was their deal. They would have drive that night, and nobody was happy about it. But I do too, Lucy. I do too.
Mm-hmm.
So they went to several parties. The girls, they went to one boys' party, and I'm going to throw up a map. Let me share.
Well, weren't they going to all meet back at the house? Isn't that what? Yeah.
They were going to meet. They were going to spend the night at one boy's house. He lived in. Hold on, let me find it.
Mm-hmm.
He lived in, I want to say, Battlefield, which was only about maybe 15-20 minute drive. So they went to his house. The girls met. They had their own cars. They went to his home. They had a party. Their plan was to stay at his house. And he said, you can't stay at this house. I'm sorry, you can't. So they said, okay, not a problem. They drove back to another girl's house, which is one of their friends, which is Janelle Kirby. And she lived, actually, I think very near the first boy. So they walked. Their cars were at Janelle's house. So they planned to spend the night there. Well, there were too many kids there. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Around 10:30, Stacy called her mother and said, listen, we're not going to Whitewater tonight. We're going in the morning. And I will call you in the morning and, let you know. She said, oh, okay. And even Suzanne called her mother. And I'm going to say even because Suzanne was like on a bigger leash than Stacy was. But supposedly Stacy called her mother as well and said, listen, we're not going to go tonight. We'll go tomorrow. All right. So at this time, about 11:30 that night, 11:15, Cheryl Levitt was at home, and her big thing was refinishing furniture and actually fixing up houses. She had just gone through a divorce, a pretty bad one. Nobody could find him. He had a lot of debt, and they were coming after her for the money. She even tried to put a name in the paper saying, "Can somebody find him?" Because these people want money. So she at 11:15 called a friend, and she was refinishing an armoire. She was painting it. They talked for a little while. That person said there was nothing, nothing in her voice that would indicate that she was in any kind of trouble.
Right.
So a little bit later, the girls tried to go back to Janelle Kirby's house. And this was about 2 in the morning, 2:15 in the morning. And there was no room at the inn. So they had to figure out what they were going to do. And Suzanne said, look, let's just stay at my house. Okay. So this was a completely unplanned.
Yeah.
So, and let me pick up my thing here.
It's crazy how, and we've all been kids. We're going to go one place and call mom and dad, tell them, okay, we're going to be there, and then change our minds.
Exactly.
A lot of, we've all been kids and done this.
All right.
So good for them. They just needed a place to lay their head that night.
That's it. That is absolutely all they needed. And let me pull up my damn pictures.
This is really an eerie situation. I did a show on this a while back. It's been about a year ago. And it's crazy, the stuff that came out of this. And I can't wait for Shannon to get into this. It's completely phenomenal.
Oh, that is not the one I wanted. Hold the fuck on a minute. It's right here. I just don't know how.
There it is.
You see it? All right. So here are the women. There they are. Beautiful. That little Cheryl Levitt is absolutely precious.
Wait, you're going to have to reshare it, honey, because I'm not seeing it now. You took it down.
Oh, holy poops.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't put these in a thing like I usually do, like a file, because, I'm so good at this. I'm so
you're
good
doing
at this.
good. You're doing good. I watched you last time you did this.
Well,
it was great.
That was Queen Victoria that y'all just saw. All right. So let me just go to this real quick before I pull them up. Well, if I can pull them up. This was unplanned. These girls were not supposed to be at that house.
Okay, are you sharing?
No, I'm not. I just decided to. They're not
sure.
supposed to be at this house. This is not the plan. Oh, God, I'm going to absolutely throw something. All right. Can you see that?
No.
Okay.
Maybe a negatory.
We're going to get it. Don't worry. It's going to happen. I'm feeling good about it.
I'm feeling you. I'm
feeling really good about it. I am.
Hi, everybody out there. Sorry I didn't say hello earlier.
I had to friggin' work my damn that I did not save window. Maybe that's here we go. Here we go. You see it now?
There they are.
Okay.
They were beautiful.
These are the women.
Mm-hmm.
This was Janice McCall had these flyers put up. Okay, so they show up at the house. Cheryl is in the bed. They know this because her bed was, she was out obviously reading or something when she was aroused, because the bed, just the very help me. All right, she was reading a book and that was face down and her glass was there. Hey, Poppy. So the girls obviously showed up. They know this because they had taken off their makeup. Okay. The girls, they were in their bed. They were, hey, Olivia, they were in there, what they were going to sleep in. And I'll tell you how we know that in a minute. Their purses were lined up at some steps, and they were just gone.
Twin, they went to the boys' house, but he said, listen, you guys can't stay here. You're going to have to find someplace else to stay.
Yeah.
So they went to their friend's house. I believe her name is Janelle Cody.
Janelle Kirby.
Or Kylie. I don't remember. Anyway, and there was just so many people around, they couldn't lay down.
Yeah.
So that's when they decided to go back to her house.
So if this was planned, those two girls weren't supposed to be there. If this was going to be something against Cheryl, the girls would have messed that completely up, right? So here's their stuff. That's how they found their stuff. Now, this was found in Suzanne's room. And I'm going to show you the actual house, inside the house right now. This house is bigger than it lets on. I'm going to show you the front of it. I mean, you look at that, you think, well, that's a modest home. It's a pretty substantial home. It goes back a long way. So there was a little, it looked like a den that was finished off. And so you have all of the purses there. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, all right, why would the mom's purse be in there?
Oh,
that doesn't make any sense to me.
That's also true.
Cheryl and her daughter Suzanne were smokers, and you can see can y'all see my cursor? There's a pack, a cigarette case. All their stuff was there. All right, so that morning, Janelle Kirby and her boyfriend, who were waiting on this phone call so they could all go to Whitewater, they never got it. So they started calling Suzanne's house and nobody answered. So they drove over finally, and they approached the house. And if you can see my cursor right there, right here is a light, a porch light. The glass around that porch light was broken and on the front porch here. So Janelle's boyfriend, thinking that he was being helpful, swept it up and took it across the street to throw it in a dumpster or whatever. Because there's a lot of businesses around this house too. And I've got an overview that I'll show you in a little bit. This is a business area. So
wow.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
You go, girl. I didn't realize that either. Good job.
In the driveway, you see the two girls' car. There's Suzanne's right here, and there is Stacy's, and you have her mother. Cheryl's car is in the garage. Now, the girl across the street who was friends with her was very bothered by this because she said Cheryl never parked there. Suzie always parked there. So, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, okay, when Cheryl pulls in, she doesn't know Susie's coming home. She pulls right there. She goes in the side door. I mean, I don't think that's the biggest deal as this girl said it was. But then you can also tell you have Stacy's car first, and then, Suzie, they all start with S. Susie's car first, and then Stacy. So Stacy obviously followed her straight into that thing. Like I said, they made it in the house. So the next day, the two friends come over. They walk into the house. It is unlocked. But at that time, I checked, not a lot of people lock their doors at this point.
Right.
They go in. Everything is there. Everything is pristine. There is nothing wrong. Nothing in the house is wrong. There's no struggle. There's no blood. Cinnamon, their dog. They had a little dog, wow dogs. That Cinnamon was in the house and she was agitated. But if she had two strangers coming in, she's going to be agitated. But I'm going to tell a story about Cinnamon in a little while. Stay tuned for that. All right. So people started to panic. So now you've got two people in the house effing up the crime scene.
I know, right?
No, it's crime scene. Hey, Kayla, if I am missing anybody, I'm sorry. I have this over the chat, my pictures over the chat, and I can't see some people come in, but I appreciate you being here. So we have two people now inside the house, and then more people came, and then there were phone calls that came in.
Oh shoot! Yeah,
calls came in. Now, back then, you couldn't trace a call unless there was already a trace in place on your phone. Lip gloss kidding. Hey, baby. Hey, Aristivo. So there was no way that could be traced. More people started coming. More people. They're walking around the house, right? And I'm going to go back to that because that is weird.
It is weird. And can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Now, the mama was supposed to be home working on crafting and her thing that night. Is that her purse on top? That makes me wonder why her purse was put in the middle of these other two.
Yeah. Why the wallet's out?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just weird. It's just weird. So later and I'm going to tell you, in a minute, I'm going to tell you about these women. I'm going to say, because, they're people. They, her, she, the Springfield 3, Cheryl was a single mother. She had two children. She had a son that was 28, and she had Suzie. Suzie had some type of learning disability, probably dyslexia. So that's why she's 19 and graduating. She got held back. Suzie, like the bad boys, she planned to be a cosmetologist like her mother. Her mother was a hairdresser with a huge clientele. She had 250 clients. That's a lot of clients.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot. She was finally coming out of this debt that her second husband had put her in. She bought this home. She was fixing it. She was, I'm not going to say, some people called it her dream home. She actually downsized to this home, but it's a nice home.
Right.
She actually, when her and her son and Stacy needed a place to stay, she actually talked the owner of the apartments that they wanted to live in. She would just work off by doing maintenance and things that need to be fixed. And
wow.
I mean, yeah. Hey, Chrissy. Fiddy,
I mean, that's somebody pretty motivated,
Very motivated and
that
very
says a lot about a character.
Yeah, and just you ain't keeping me down. Suzie wanted to follow her in her footsteps, and she wanted to be a cosmetologist. So that says a lot about their relationship. Because that being a hairdresser ain't easy work.
No,
physically it's hard. It's really hard. Now, hold on, let me find.
She was, Chrissy, and you can even look at her pictures, and you can tell how well kept she was, and how much pride she had in herself, including her daughter.
Yeah.
250 clients is a lot.
It's a lot. So she was. Stacy had just been accepted into, I think, Southern Missouri University. Not real sure what she was going to, what her course was going to be. She might have just gone, be going in there and getting her requirements done and then figuring out, what she wants to do. But she had been accepted, and so these girls and this woman had plans. They had lives. They had goals and they had dreams, and they were just removed from the earth. I don't know. So finally, during that day, they called Stacy's mother. Her name is Janice. And Janice came over there like a bull, as I would have done, because she kept wondering, why haven't I heard from my daughter? She never not calls. So, yeah. So she goes over there. Now, the mistake me and made is Janice comes in there. She is probably absolutely hysterical. You have all of their cars outside. You have all of their things in the house. So she looks over into Suzanne's bedroom, and she sees her daughter's clothes folded neatly. And her mother knew that Stacy left that house in a t-shirt and underwear. That's how she left that house.
Yeah. Yep.
And so if she left a house like that, odds are the other ones left in their bed, whatever they wore to bed too. But she said her daughter was very proud. She wouldn't go out without makeup. She wouldn't go out unless, without being dressed to the nines. They worked. Suzanne worked in a movie theater. Stacy worked as a receptionist at a gymnasium, at a gymnastics / whatever. So they had jobs. Stacy would never leave with her hair not done, makeup on, and clothes on. She's not going to leave the house in her t-shirt and underwear. And that's where it is. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. Well, these aren't people, and this is not a lady or girls that go out partying, that cause problems. They're very responsible adults and children.
Yeah.
They have futures. They have, they graduated. So for them just to disappear, I just don't, yeah.
And they were loved. The fact that all these friends showed up when they could have effed off to Whitewater and said, screw them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not what they did. Those friends that did not do
exactly.
that. So Janice gets into
Was there some, I'm sorry. I was going to ask about phone calls. Was there something about some dirty phone calls or something? Yeah. So some naughty phone calls?
The girl, Janelle, the girl where they were supposed to stay, she answered the phone and she got several obscene phone calls. When Janice comes into the house at about 6-ish, now I don't know what took till 6. Some people said it was earlier. Some people said it was later. So between 4 and 6 is where I put it. I mean, to be honest. Janice goes straight to for some reason, goes to the answer machine and she listens to the message, and it is also a obscene phone call.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Right.
Okay, got it. I got it mixed up. Okay.
She mistakenly erases the unknown obscene phone call. She accidentally erases it.
Gosh.
And she said, well, I mean, I didn't know who it was. Well, you wouldn't know who it was. It's not your phone. So you would, I mean, you know, I'm sure that Cheryl didn't know who it was either, but no, it's not your phone. So you wouldn't know. But I mean, I can get, because she went berserk. She calls the police from Cheryl's phone.
So my gosh.
And they come over and they say, do you have any dental records? That's one of the first things they said to Janice. Can y'all get me some dental records?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Can you imagine? That is on the first conversation they said to her while she was on the phone. All right, we're on our way. Can you get me dental records?
Yeah. I can't imagine. That's crazy.
We have nothing at this point. The police have nothing. They've gotten in there, and even the glass that the guy swept up. I mean, it's, you know, it's nothing. There's just nothing. It's nothing they can do at this point. So all right, let me go back over here. All right, I've got some interesting things on these. All right, so here it is.
You are on it, girl. You are on it.
I will tell you that Cheryl had a favorite restaurant, and it was called, I forget, a steakhouse. She loved it, right? She went there all the time. Well, a waitress there said, "No, man, we saw those three. We saw Cheryl, Stacy, and Suzanne that night. They were here between 2 and 3, 2 and 3 in the morning. They were absolutely here." But there's no way, because those girls didn't even get to the house till 2:30. All right. And so, and Suzie was in a shirt and underwear, and a smoker ain't leaving the house without her cigarettes to pop up to the house. Right. And Suzanne smoked as well, and all their cigarettes are there. I'm gonna tell you, as a smoker, I don't go to the mailbox without my cigarettes just in case something happens. Okay. So here we have this map. So Battlefield is where they started. That's the 2 parties that they went to. That's the boys' party. And I got his name somewhere. I don't really know. I'm just going off now what I remember. Battlefield is where they started. All right. That's the 2 parties where they could walk back and forth to those parties. That's where Janelle Kirby lived. So they drive over here 24 minutes and they get to Levitt's house.
Okay.
All right. And then the steakhouse people said, yeah, we saw him in between 2 and 3. Didn't happen. It just didn't happen. It didn't happen. I mean, I don't even know why you would say that it happened.
Yeah.
Because
that's strange. Yeah. Well, and like Lavender said, how would they have paid for their food? They left all their purses.
Exactly. And I don't think they would have gone there and then come back to the house. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I think that I don't know. But there's just, according to that girl's timeline, maybe she said between 1 and 2. I can't. It's in here. It's in here somewhere. Okay. So that was one possible sighting. The next day, Janelle, or the 7th. So we're going to put they disappeared on the 7th of June. Janice went out and had all these posters made, and I just showed you one.
Right. Beautiful.
Look at that.
I know, right? Look how pretty.
So pretty. And that's Suzie. That's Sue. They called her Suzie. So, hey, Rain.
Hey, down.
So that is what went everywhere. That went all over town. That went in every window. That went in every they even talked like the grocery store people and to put them in the bags, at the grocery store. So this was a big, case. This was huge.
Mm-hmm.
So we have somebody who comes forth about 3 or 4, 5, 6 days later.
God.
And said, hey, now I saw a van.
Yep.
And it was an older man. And I saw Suzie Streeter driving the van at 7:30 or 6:30 in the morning, the night after they disappeared. And I heard a man in the back say, "Don't do anything stupid." And Suzie looked very upset. Well, that's nice. However, there was also a brown van in the area a couple of days before the disappearance that people said, "Oh, there was a brown van," and that was really weird. A man even took down the license plate of a van that was sitting in a supermarket parking lot around the same time. He thought it was so suspicious that he wrote the license plate down on a newspaper in his car. But he threw it away.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
So he could remember, I think, the first two, not the first three. So I know this is a lot of missed opportunities. And do I think that Suzie was in a van?
I don't think so myself.
I
really don't.
I don't think so either. I think there is to get 3 women, and I'm going to call them women because numerically they're women. To get 3 women out of a house, you either had to be more than one person. It has to be more than one person. Or you know them and they know you. And for some reason, they're not scared of you right now. That's the only 2 things that I can think of. Because if
he bound them together and carried them separately out there.
But there's no sign. If you have 5, like say you have 2 accomplices and 3 women, there's going to be something askew in that house.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just going to be. You're not going to be able to get 5 people in and out of a house.
And not only that, like you said, there was businesses all the way around
All the way around it.
You can't tell me that these girls, even if they're gagged, there's not going to be some kind of noises, like you said. There's not going to be some kind of a scuffle that people are going to be driving by and not notice.
This is their house. You see, there's a business here, right here. There's a business across the street.
Okay.
Now, see how this house goes long? It goes back a long way. It's so the little front is not. It looks like a little house, but it's really not. It's quite large. Now, at Cheryl's, I think it was Cheryl's bedroom or Suzie's, and I can't remember. I have to look in here. There were, you know how when you look through blinds and you pull them open? The blinds were pulled open. Now, another thing that I'm going to say is when those girls pulled in this driveway, this right here is Cheryl's bedroom. All right. So they're pulling in. Those lights are going to go right through that window. 2 sets of lights are going to come right through that window. I'm sure this is very much grown up, this bush right here.
Oh, yeah.
So that was 1, 2. And supposedly there was a screen out of Cheryl's room, window, but nothing in, nothing out. No footprints outside, no footprints inside. It wasn't askew. It wasn't knocked down. So, did she just knock it out? I don't know. I mean, that's just another thing that people were given the opportunity, So, let me see. Let me go back. So I just want to look at these women. They're women.
I know. It's so sad.
Now, the owner of this bar right here, that's the picture he's had in his store, in his bar window for, at this point, it was 25 years. He never took
my God.
And he put it in like
that breaks my heart.
Yeah. And he has never taken it out because he told Janice McCall, I'll leave it in there till they're found. And
God bless him.
He kept his promise. He's kept his promise. So then there's nothing. We have the van. We have the brown van. We have the green van. Nothing pans out. No clues have panned out ever. They searched riverbanks. They searched fields. They searched whatever you could search, they searched it. And there was nothing. So then they started to try to find some suspects and try to work backwards, right? We can't figure out what happened we'll just work backwards. So when I say
Mhm.
that Suzie had a little penchant for bad boys, you're going to find out here in a minute. It's George's Steakhouse, by the way. And the server there is the one that said she saw her between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., which we know it just couldn't have happened. And that they were calm. Oh, I forgot this. The server said that Suzie appeared to be drunk and that Cheryl was trying to calm her down outside and Stacy was right there. There's no indications that Suzie was drunk. She didn't leave any parties drunk. So that's another thing. Did the server just want to help so much? I don't know. I'm going through the vans. It's just not. I mean, it's just a lot of nothing. Then they had a transient man that people thought, oh, we saw a transient man. And they, that, oh, let's get a sketch, and it looked like, I didn't even like screenshot it because it was so random. But my thing is, okay, if you're a transient, how are you going to get 3 women out in the street?
And how did you get right? And how did you get out of there?
Yeah, you don't have a car.
Ridiculous.
So that was a little. Now, let's go to suspects.
Okay, here we go. We're going to get into the good stuff.
The police were going to have to work their way. Yeah, all 3 cars were at the house. And I'm going to show that house again. And you see here, not him. I mean, that's their route. They didn't, like I said, these kids didn't do nothing wrong, but
it breaks my heart.
I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to do these.
Okay.
All right. So for Cheryl, we have to have, basically you have to have suspects for every person. You have to, I guess they have to work that way. I'm not a cop. Lavender probably knows about it. So for Cheryl, who would be willing to kill her and 2 other people? So there's her first husband, Brett Streeter. He lived in Washington, actually. He lived in Cheryl and him used to live in Washington. And she divorced. She moved back to Springfield, where she lived, took her 2 kids. So he hadn't talked to his children since they left. So, Don Levitt, who was her ex-husband, the one that owed all that money. Yeah. Well, then if you can see under her, we have Bart Streeter.
Again.
Now, Bart Streeter is the son and the brother of Suzie. Now, I've read a lot of accounts on this too.
Boy, howdy, you've been busy, girl.
You don't even know. So Bart had a drinking problem, and he still does, quite frankly. And I've read several reports where when they'd only been in this house for 2 months, okay, before they were taken. They had only lived in this house for 2 months. Now, I had some people that said he lived there with them for a couple of, like a month. And then there was a huge argument, and he was asked to leave. Then I read another thing that said him and Suzie tried to stay in the same apartment, but they had a huge argument over her boyfriends, and that's why there was a big argument within this little 3-person family. So Bart Streeter, he did a polygraph test. I got so bad with this. This is how mad his mother was at him. She mailed him. This is a very aggressive move on my part, to me. She mailed his birth certificate back to him, basically meaning, I just don't even want to part of you. But I mean, he's 28. Why wouldn't he have a copy of his birth certificate? But she took it and mailed the birth certificate to him, kind of like a fuck you. I mean, honestly, that's what it was.
That would hurt. That would hurt.
I mean, it would really, really, really hurt. So let's go down Suzie. We have Dustin Relca. Dustin Relca is a real piece of fucking work. He was a little ass, and he decided he was going to start breaking into mausoleums and stealing the gold teeth.
Oh, no way.
And he did.
Oh
And
my God.
he was dumb enough to take these gold teeth to a pawn shop.
Oh my God.
Of teeth, a lot. And he was obviously apprehended rather quickly. Now, there was an ongoing case, and Stacy and not Stacy, Suzanne and Cheryl were going to testify against him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, he was a kid. He had been dating Suzie for about 2 years. He absolutely admits that when they first started dating, he did beat her. She had a restraining order against him that was taken out in October of 1991. He had popped her tires. He had assaulted her.
A real sweetheart.
Yeah, real darling. And then Cheryl, actually, they got 2 on him because the day he got the first one, he and another woman popped her tires again.
Oh, jeez.
Right. So then we have Steve Garrison, who was an acquaintance of Dustin's. Let me get a little sip of that.
Steve Garrison.
He is, this little piece of work is a member of let me get the name right because it's a funny name to me.
In 94, I believe it was, State of Disorder. Is that right? Am I right on that?
92, but
yes,
92.
Right?
Yes, 1992.
92, sorry.
Because it's 30 years old coming up. Past. So Steve Garrison, he is a member of the Galloping Goose Motorcycle Club. And he was arrested in 1993 for a violent assault on a female student. He received 40 years in prison for that. He offered up. He tried to offer up information on this case in order to get a plea deal. He was denied. So police searched a farm August 28th in 1993 that was associated with him and the gang there, and nothing was found. There's another location that was owned by Francis Robb Sr., who was, I can't remember how he's involved. Nothing was found there, but he had been convicted in 1990 for 2 counts of murder.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And then whatever they found there, the police have a gag order.
What?
Yes. Whatever they found at this man's farm, they cannot
Why?
talk because there is a gag order. My question is, who asked for a gag order? Because there was no there were suspects, but there was no arrest.
Yeah.
So there's not another attorney asking for a gag order.
That makes no sense,
no, it doesn't at all. I'm saying when you go down these rabbit holes, and then I have to double check the rabbit hole to make sure the one I went down was right. So I go down another rabbit hole to see if it's there with no consent. This is work, people. This is work. All right. So next we have Gerald Carnahan. He's another acquaintance of the first 2 pieces of shit there. He was convicted in 1985 for murder of Jackie Johns, another young female in Greene County. He had several other convictions for kidnapping, burglary, violent assaults. He received life with no chance of parole. And he was in the area in 1992. There is absolutely no proof that Suzie knew these last 2 people. There's no proof. Thank you, Lovey. I hope you're well. So there is no proof. However, they both knew Dustin.
And did they know Suzie?
That no one knows if they did or they didn't. It's never been so. But these were on the, these were on, they were on the thing, and they are these last 2 violent crimes, murder,
right?
But my thing is, again, those girls weren't supposed to be there that night.
Right.
Why would they plan this?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if you wanted Suzie, why the hell are you taking 2 more people out the house? Is it because they know you? Or you can't identify them? So I don't know. But there is no proof that she knew him, but there's no proof that they didn't. And again, with
see, and like you were saying,
no, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Like you were saying, these girls just didn't walk out,
Right.
but with one man. There had to have been more than one.
Or one they trusted.
Mm-hmm.
Or one they trusted.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because so with each one of these, you have different. So you have the 3 girls and they're different subjects, right? Suspects, but none of them were supposed to be in this place. So
right.
why on this night were 3 people taken out if only one was the object? And why would, if say Cheryl was your target, and you show up and there's 2 more cars in the driveway, why do you proceed to go and get them all? Why don't you just come back when it's just her? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm thinking logically.
What if they were there prior to Suzie and Stacy showing up?
That is why. I'm so glad you asked that.
Okay.
The girl across the street, the one that didn't like at all the way the cars were parked, said that the only way Cheryl would park there is if there was somebody else. No, sorry. The only reason that Suzie would not park in there is because there was somebody else there. Well, there was somebody else there. Her mother. Her mother used because the girl wasn't coming home. Now, also, if she's painting and all or refinishing or whatever she was doing, maybe she wanted to be there so the door was open. Maybe I don't know why she parked there. I don't think it's the biggest deal as the other girl does. The other girl, it bothers her greatly. And if it bothers her greatly, there might be something to it. But I don't know. We just keep remembering this. Why are they there?
Yeah.
Why are they all together? It doesn't make any sense. So.
And here we come across. Yep.
And where was I going? Where was I? I don't even know where I was going. Anyway, all right. So now we go with this little asshole. So anyway, so let's do. That's Suzie. So we've gone through Suzie's and we've gone through Cheryl's, and let's go through Stacy's. That's where it gets
right.
This is where the money shot is. Robert Cox.
Oh boy.
Robert Cox is doing life right now for murder, I think in Texas. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Robert Cox. In 1985, he had assaulted and kidnapping a woman, and he escaped. He served 9 years for assault and kidnapping. She escaped. He served 9 years. I-70 killings. Why would I write that down? He was arrested for murder in Florida, and then he was in jail for it, and the judge threw it out. So now he's running around in 1992. Let's see, I-70 killings. He is suspected in this murder. Killed a young, petite brunette. In 1993, there were more murders. He was a suspect. 1994 through 95, he kidnapped her. He went at gunpoint and went into a woman and a child's apartment.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that's scary.
And then he left there and entered another woman's apartment, and for that he was sentenced to life in prison. But he's eligible for parole in 2025. Now, his original alibi for the night, because he was in Springfield that night, and he did know Suzie through her father, and they worked at the same car lot. So, and she would go up there often. She is one of 3 sisters. She was the baby. So his original alibi is that he was with family on the day of the 6th. He was at church on the 7th with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend absolutely supported his alibi. However, she recanted she recanted her story and said he was not there. And so, well, now he's never confessed to the murder. He has talked about it. He has said that he knows where they are and he knows what happened.
Yep.
And when asked if you are the murderer, he said, I know where they are and I know what happened. And I'm not going to talk about it until my mother dies.
And he said that they never find the body.
So they never find the body. So
is what
he's not going to talk about it until his mother dies. And I think she is at that time, she was 80-some.
Right.
So does he know? I don't know. I don't know. So
playing games.
We have the stranger theory, as you can see right there, that covers all of them. The stranger theories. That somebody just walked in and did this, drove them away in their car, and we're none the wiser. Go over here to the unrelated. So two men worked at a concrete plant. And after this, they just up and left. That's the story. I mean, honestly,
That's very strange.
A woman called and said, "Hey, look, we had two guys working here, and now that these girls are missing and women are missing, and they're not here no more." And the cops were like, oh, "Okay, don't know where they went, don't know."
That is so strange.
So then we have the two vans that I talked about, the green one and the brown one, and then okay. So America's Most Wanted ran this story. This is very interesting. So they ran this. Somebody actually called, and this was on December 31st, 1992. So this was fresh, right?
And they were killed in June,
They were
right?
killed in June, yeah.
Okay.
The air date, was December 31st. A caller called in and said with key facts in the case.
Mm-hmm.
And while they were being transferred over to police, they hung up.
Oh.
And they never called back. And we've never heard from them again.
Oh, yeah. Damn it.
Theory number 412. There is a hospital in their town. And it's called Cox Hospital. There's a lot of Cox in this story for some reason. And a year after the women went missing, they started to build a parking garage.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is when
I heard about this one. Yeah. This one makes sense to me.
This is when the macabre turns just crazy. So we have a reporter, Katie Bard. And in 2007, she's a crime reporter, and she investigated a tip from a psychic that said they were under the parking lot. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So she brought in a man who had the ground penetrating radar. Now, you think this was in 2007? Probably pretty advanced. I don't know how much those things change, And he went over a part of the parking lot, and there were 3 anomalies under there. And he said they are what he would consider bodies, graves, because he has seen them before. So the only problem with that is the state, the town, nobody's going to take up that parking garage. All right. They're not going to do it. So if those women are under there, I pray they aren't, but sometimes I pray they are so they could get peace. I don't know.
Right.
So they're not gonna take that parking garage down. Now, Katie Bard, she got these, there was even I tell you a great part. A dog psychic came in and said that he could talk to Cinnamon and find out what happened. Cinnamon was their little dog.
Oh.
I don't believe he was ever brought in to talk to Cinnamon, but I mean, I guess we should.
Poor Cinnamon.
So, poor Cinnamon. So Kathy Bard, I think, decided that she wanted to be a lot more in this story than she really was. So she claims that she was threatened and she had death threats, and she actually did an interview with one of the channels that I watched.
I was going to say, I saw a clip on that too. Yes.
She was interviewed but refused to talk about what she knew because she'd been
and
I'll tell you, the girl that interviewed her was Ron Goldman's sister, Ron Goldman from O.J. Simpson fame.
Yeah.
Interviewed her, Kim Goldman. And she's like, well, I can't really talk about it because I've been threatened. And Kim Goldman was like, well, then what are you doing here? And even like the producer was like, what are you doing here?
What are you doing?
I just can't talk about it. Like, well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, what are you doing here then? I mean, hello.
So that didn't pan out either. I mean, you got to take these people with what they're worth. I have learned that the cruelest people show up when there's great misery. Do you know?
Mm-hmm. Trying to cash in on it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I got a question for you, Shannon. There was two vans, the green one.
Yeah.
And then the brown one.
Right.
Did they ever find owners of any such vans?
No.
And if they did, okay,
here's what they did find. They got a tip and they went to a campground. And there was and boy, I wish I had it. Hold on, I got it here somewhere. Because it was really weird. A couple dropped off a van like that and left.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And by the time they investigated it, shock and awe, it was just basically in pieces. So there was nothing to, it was blue. This was a moth screen. The police, even with this photo, that is the police. That's sitting outside the police department at the time. And that's a pretty old van even for then. I think it's a 64 through a 72. Yeah. So they set that out there, right color and everything. So hold on. I've got a zombie and a dead friend.
I am a dead.
All right. I'm in the home stretch now. I'll be up there in just a second. I love you very much. I'll be over in a second. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
All right. Let's look at the aftermath.
Yeah.
So, brown van spotted. Similar van seen June 3rd, June 4th. Nothing came of it. And then we've got the green van. Nothing came of it. Caller. Nothing came of it. Then we have August here. Police search in Northview, Missouri. That's where they can't talk about it because there's a gag order delivered by no one. So then you have
that just sounds really suspicious.
It is. So in 93 September, that's when the anomalies were found. 95 Robert Cox claims, just like Beard says, she knows exactly what happened and she knows where they are, but she can't talk. Well, apparently she got it from Mr. Cox here because he said the same damn thing. So then we have August 2002, where that little Steve Garrison, who was arrested, triggers all right. So the property. This is where they find, and the August 2002 was where they gag ordered it. And if you look right after that in April is where they found parts of a green van in Cassville at a campground. Now, obviously, 2003, you're not going to have a whole lot of stuff left over. And then you have here Bard claims to find anomalies and claims. This is claims. So September 1993 is when it was begun, the construction. Bard here in 2007 says, I know exactly what happened. And there's anomalies. No, you didn't. Now let's go to, let's visit Bart Streeter again.
Okay.
Bart Streeter.
Good old Bart Streeter.
He was 10 years older than Suzie. He had a drinking problem even back then. This is weird. Bart Streeter walked into a store in, hold on, we'll find it for you. Okay, this is Bart Streeter. This is the one he did in Nevada in 2000. He went into a nail place, attempted to take out a 15-year-old girl. And he was charged there with kidnapping first degree. He was charged with coercion by force. And there was 2. He pled to these.
Oh, shoot.
So in 2000, and I can't remember, he does the exact same thing in Tennessee. The exact same thing. He walks into a nail salon. He said, "That's my granddaughter," because he's gray now. "That's my granddaughter." And that little girl who knew nothing, her mom was in the car. And he said, "No, that's my granddaughter. I'm here to pick her up." And one of them actually put their hand out, and he whatever, hits it or whatever. And they run him out and call the police. They run him out, lock the door, and call the police. He is arrested again. Attempted kidnapping.
Oh, jeez.
Right. So, and he was drunk both times. Okay. So, that's weird that you are trying to pull out children out. You're coercing. Do you know what I'm saying? That sounds a lot like what happened in his mom's house.
Right.
So
and it would make sense.
If you trust the person, even if he shows up at 3 a.m, they're already up, right? If he says, "Hey, I was riding by, come look at this," I still don't think that he could have got him outside. I don't think that he could have got him out. I don't think Stacy would have gone outside in her underwear.
Right.
Didn't know him.
Yeah.
And so that's where I went back to, what if they trusted the person? The only person around her that they probably trusted would be Bart, and they didn't trust him. They were out fighting him. So we're basically nowhere. We're back to nowhere. This went nowhere. It's in 30 years gone nowhere.
So do you think that Cox had anything to do with this?
Again, if he knew Stacy, all right, he didn't know Stacy was going to be at Cheryl's house. What, did he follow him around all night? If he's going to follow him around, why not drag her off the street when she's walking back and forth to the parties? So I don't know. So
and the other 2,
I don't think
the other.
I don't know. I don't know. I wish I knew. I don't know.
Like Stephen George.
Yeah.
Say, for instance, maybe Dustin said, "You know what? I know where we can get some money," or whatever it was they were looking for. They might have known who Suzie and Cheryl
maybe, but do you want to know something?
They know who they were.
None of the wallets had any money missing. And actually, Cheryl had a $900 deposit that was left there. So they didn't mean nothing was missing in the house. Nothing. It wasn't ransacked. It is so odd. It's so
just kind of.
We will never know. Probably. I pray they find. Now, another thing is that Stacy. No shit. All these S's. Suzie and Cheryl were declared dead in 1997. Their families just said can't do it anymore. Obviously the McCalls have not done that. In fact, they had a huge, every year her mother, and I got to give it to her mother, man, she's not giving up. She is not in good health. And it's at the 25-year mark, they had a big, like the balloons that you, with the, you light the candle and it goes up. And she said, I can't do this anymore. This is going to be the last time I do this. God. I can't do it anymore.
God bless her.
Yeah, because I think, listen, as bad as it is to have a child that's passed away, it's worse than having one that you don't know where they are.
Don't know where they're at.
So the site was staged. The women were the target, but the women weren't supposed to be there. They weren't supposed to be. Those plans changed at 2:15 in the morning. So they weren't even supposed to be there at all. So you have
now. I wonder, was Cheryl asleep at all? Could she have been in bed at any given time?
She was in bed. I somewhere had a picture of her bed. I don't know where they went. So it's her bed. She had baby blue sheets, and she had her bed is always made, and you can tell this because when she was laying in the bed, the everything was folded over. Do you know, like the blanket was folded over this way?
Right.
And she had a book laying there and her glasses. So a book face down. So I don't know if she went to sleep reading or was reading because she just finished the armoire or what. We just don't know. But I know when those girls came in, and that's probably why the mother pulled the slats to who the hell is here, and she saw it was her daughter. It just doesn't make sense. And it's
none of this makes sense. Yeah.
Like the Fort Worth trio. It's a lot like that. And was it somebody they knew? How did you get 3 girls into a vehicle and away?
Yeah.
Well, they're like, oh, it has to be somebody they know. But in that case, you have a lot of people that came through. This happened in 74. They came up in 2001 and go, oh, yeah, I remember. One of them was a freaking cop that said that at the time he was a security guard at Sears. I'm talking about the trio. So time is gone. It's lost. No more is coming in on this. Tell us what you found at the damn farm. Who you protected? Yeah. Who asked for a gag order?
I don't understand why there would have been a gag order in place.
Yeah, I mean,
that makes absolutely no sense.
It just makes no sense. I mean, Robert Cox makes a lot of sense on paper, but 3 women, he was going to have to. What gets me is those pocketbooks, and there was nothing in that house because there was a lot of doors. I'm going to tell you, here what we're going to do now. Hold on, I'm going to show you now. Can y'all see this? Okay. Can y'all see the house?
Nope, not yet.
Shit. Okay, hold on. Hold the hell on. I might have to go back over here. I went to Zillow.
Oh, good for you.
Around.
You did some great investigating on this, girl.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, you did that's a lot of work.
Oh, you know what? It is a whole lot of work. I'm going to stop sharing, then I'm going to start sharing again. I am not. When I get good at this, y'all better look the hell out.
You're doing a great job. I'm so proud of you.
Ain't going to be anytime soon, but. All right, here we go. All right. Now, you got it?
Here we go.
Right. This is the current house currently. Well, I'll tell you about it. It was about 5 years ago. All right, 2002. No, sorry, 2001. I don't know. Anyway, here we go.
Dang, girl.
So, now that fence, when Cheryl had this house, she put in that fence. It was brand new. If you look at it now, it's got some work. It needs some work. All right, so let's look. There's the light pole. That is not what was, that is original. That was there the night. That's not the one that was broken. It was the one over the door. Now here's the living room. Let me just.
Wait, hang on a minute. It's not showing. It's showing back here for us.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't see it. Oh, never mind. Never mind my TV. I got it. Sorry.
So there's the front door. If you see my cursor,
Yeah.
there's that window right here, and this is the bathroom.
Okay.
All right, and this is just another
pretty little house.
It's a cute little house.
Yeah.
All right, there's again the. All right, there's the living room again, and here you have You have the bathroom again. There's the window and the doors right here. I couldn't. I'll tell you why I looked at this. I couldn't figure out where the hell the stairs were. There's no stairs in that house. All right, so here's the kitchen, and you go through here, and
there was no evidence whatsoever. No blood, no nothing.
No, here's the dining room. All right, here's the laundry room.
Cute little house.
Here's the master. There's the master bedroom right here. This one in the middle, and this one is the other little one. Cute little thing. Here's where Susie's room was, and I'll tell you how, because they got those little steps. Now, the reason I'm showing these is look how many doors you had to get out of. If you got somebody near you and they gonna kill you. Look at that. That was brand new when Cheryl put it up, that fence.
Wow. Look at that.
There's the bathroom. There's a back. There's going back into the.
Wow, that's a huge yard, isn't it?
It is. All right, let's go.
So were all the doors locked, or no? The front door was open.
The front door was not locked, but they said she never locked the front door.
Okay, that's right.
And so, I want to show those damn steps.
I saw them in that one bedroom.
Yeah, I had to find the steps because I'm like, there's no steps.
Yeah, right there.
They're in that den, which was her bedroom.
Right.
So let me see. I've written down little things. FBI violent crime specialists believe the three were abducted by a person, at least one trusted, and that he had the help of at least one more.
Okay.
They do not believe this was a spontaneous crime because of these following reasons. He had to select a partner or partners. So if you have to, you want to get one of these women, because I keep thinking that the target was Cheryl.
Right. Well, yeah, I think you could be right.
Wrong. But you would have to get a partner. Now, in the next 30 years, somebody's going to talk. Somebody's going to talk. Somebody is going to say, hey, I was dating somebody who did this and that didn't happen. He had to get in the home with no observations from the neighbors. It was 3 a.m. in the morning. But, some neighbors like me, I might be outside smoking at 3 a.m. I don't do nothing around my house. I'll tell you. Anyway.
Right.
You have to quickly get control of the three women. You had two in one room and one over here on the other side of the house. Shut up. So they would have to get him out of the house and into a vehicle with no noise or attention.
Lavender said a motorcycle gang or a hitman.
There you go. They had to get them somewhere safe without alerting anyone. Safe for the predator.
Right.
So if in the theory that there were, let's just say two people involved in it. So you would have to murder them and keep their whereabouts secret for 30 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
And he was able to control whoever helped him for 30 years.
Right.
So that's even a bigger thing to think about. You would not only have to control, but did he control somebody for 30 years, or did he kill a son of a bitch? And we don't know about it.
Right.
I don't know. The police ain't saying, and I don't know why they're not saying. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not a cop, but why you? Like I said, the gag order, the things that popped out at me, and then I would like I said, if you go down a rabbit hole, to be fair, you have to go down another rabbit hole to make sure the rabbit hole that you just went down was correct. You don't want to get
right?
information that is not right if you've not double, triple checked it, which I have. I've done it. I believe me, I've done it. And that's I mean, here I go. There's my case, but there's no case to it. It's nothing. There's nothing.
Oh my God.
And it's 3 people. At least they got off the street pretty quickly. Yeah. Well, these people ain't off the damn street. And
wow,
that kid who stole all those teeth, who desecrated graves, only got like 6 or 9 months probation. It wouldn't have been. It ain't no big deal anyway. They weren't going to do. I mean, Cox's brother helped him, and his brother. Well, see, all right. Again, Lavender, my thing is, how did he? There is no way Stacy trusted him. There is no way Cheryl and Suzanne trusted him. And if it was 2 of them, a mother, right? And I got my girl here. Oh, we're going to rip that fucking house to pieces. Shoot me if you must. If you must shoot me, please shoot me, because it's going to wake my neighbors up. Go right here. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? And I don't know what I would do in that situation, but my mom, and I've always told my children, if somebody comes up to you and says, get in the car, I'm going to kill you, they're going to kill you anyway, man. You run.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, they're going to kill you anyway.
Yep.
So
they're not going to care.
It's the subduing them that got me when I read the FBI profile, I guess you call it, without, if he had a gun, yeah, but you know, like I said, I mean, and that's just me talking. I tell you, kill me and tell the girls to run. But I understand that if he had somebody else with him, that's just a lot. The reason I also wanted to show the house, that's a lot of ground to cover. That's a big house.
Right.
And if you are a stranger off the street, you're not thinking it's that big, but you get inside and you're like, oh shit, this thing goes on forever.
Yeah, it's a pretty good sized house.
Oh yeah, Adam Walsh's story is so hard. So I mean, Lavender, I hope that he did do it. And I hope that when his mother dies, he lets people know. But I got a feeling he won't. I got a feeling he won't. I got a feeling he don't know nothing. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But he's been pretty proud of the rest of his crimes. And you're already in life. You're in there for life, bitch. You ain't getting out. Go and tell it.
You're not going to be getting out anyway.
You know you would be an idiot. Cost would carry.
My phone is about ready to go dead.
Okay,
honey.
I'm about to wrap this up. Going an hour and a half.
Thank you. I had this. This was fun. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it.
The Fort Worth trio.
Yep, that's yeah. Let's do it. I'll read up on it. I'll get going.
I'll send you 4%. I'll send you everything that everywhere I'm looking.
Okay. Oh, you got it.
There she goes. All right.
Bye.
Thank you. I love her. Cock would carry the cock. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I know, Rain Girl, I know. That's what I'm saying, that when you start researching this, you get so angry and you get so frustrated because you think, like, even in research, I'm thinking, oh, this is something great, and I get there and it's just nothing. It's nothing. No, Lavender, I hope it was his brother. I pray that it was. Thank you, Chris. I love it that y'all enjoyed it. I mean, it's macabre, but it's Saturday Night Murder Mystery. And, I don't cover a lot of current cases because there's so many people doing that. I don't need to. But these old cases that people just don't know about or forgot about are frustrating, but they're important. And I don't ever want these girls and these women to be forgotten because I wouldn't want to be forgotten. And if it was my child, I wouldn't want it forgotten. I wouldn't want it forgotten. So I'm glad that y'all enjoyed it. And I thank you so much for coming. And I'm going to let y'all go now because we've been at it exactly an hour and a half. And that's just a long time. So thank you, Never Lose Hope. I love true crime too, and I like doing the vintage ones because people don't know it, or they forget, or email me. Email me, y'all email me. My email is theshannon681 at gmail.com. Yeah, it is. Never lose, it's in there. And when this is over, I'm going to go back. I'm going to put every single source that I used, so that y'all, if y'all want to go look at it yourself, you can do it. It's interesting. It's that. Now I'm going to see. This is my this drawer over here is my current file. This drawer over here is my done file. So here's George Reeves. And now I got to put my girls here in it. But we'll revisit it if something happens. I mean, I'll absolutely revisit it with y'all. But I thank y'all for coming very, very much. And I'm glad that you were, I don't want to say entertained, but I'm glad that you were here. And I will see y'all on the 22nd of October, where we do the Fort Worth Trio. That's a big one. That's a big one. That's bigger than this one, in my opinion. It's bigger than this one. But good night, Lavender. Thank you for. If Lavender, I pray to Jesus, that is the man that did it, and I hope that he says as soon as his mom drops, I hope he's like, okay, here's what happened, and we get these girls back, and these women back, and we know what happened, But I love you all. Thank you for showing up. And I will see you very, very, very soon. Thank you.